Welcome all. In this short video, we will try to understand the concept of stress, which is a very important topic in mechanical engineering as well as in civil engineering. So here we will try to understand the concept in terms of atomic bonding. We will relate the stress with atomic bonding and we'll see that from where does this term stress come. So stress is also known as engineering stress, and we all know that in material there are atoms which have a specific kind of arrangement means that in a particular material the atoms are arranged in a particular fashion. So here in this figure the atoms are represented by this bigger circle which is green in color, electrons are represented by this blue color, and this spring is represented by this zigzag line which will be shown in a while. So we will take the example of metals because metals are most widely studied material in civil engineering as well as in mechanical engineering. So in mechanical engineering point of from mechanical engineering point of view, if you will see the metals, then we all know that inside metals there's a periodic arrangement of atoms, means atoms are arranged in a specific order, and if you repeat that a specific arrangement inside in a 3D, or if you see the arrangement in a 3D, then you can see that they have a crystalline structure. So inside atom there are electrons which revolve around the nucleus, but if we will have to see metals, then there are free electrons which helps in providing the electrical conductivity to the metals. That's why these electrons are shown here. So these are actually the valence electrons which are helping in create in maintaining the electrical conductive nature of the metals. So we all know that these atoms are held together with the help of interatomic bonds or interatomic forces. So if you'll have to see or visualize interatomic forces, then what we have thought of that we can join these two atoms, or we can join the atoms with the help of a spring. So here this white zigzag line is representing the spring, and spring actually helping us to visualize the interatomic bonding forces. So because we are not able to see the atomic bonding, so we can visualize it with the help of spring. So now we can take the example of two atoms which are held together by spring. Actually, the spring is representing the interatomic bonds, and we are subjecting these atoms to external force. So I have chosen here these two atoms. You can also choose this whole square block which I have shown earlier, but for simplification, we will focus on these two atoms which are joined together with the help of spring. So here what we are trying to do, we are applying tensile force. So tensile force is the force whose effect is to create extension in the material. So here you can see we are pulling it from both sides, and this force is trying to elongate the spring. So when you will apply this external force, then spring will elongate. But we all know that every material wants to stay in the equilibrium positions. Even we human also wants to stay in a stable position. So if you are disturbing this spring from its equilibrium position with the help of this external force, then this spring will try to resist, and it will also apply an resisting force which is shown here with this red arrow. So this internal resisting force should have a magnitude equal to this external force, because only then these two atoms will remain in equilibrium position. So when we are applying the external force, the spring is to trying to maintain its equilibrium position, and it is also applying an internal resisting force. And now for this situation, if we'll have to define stress, then people have defined stress as the ratio of internal resisting force which is having magnitude equal to the externally applied force. So we are not able to see, or we are not able to visualize this internal resisting force, but we have considered the assumption of equilibrium in strength of materials. So we assume that every material is in its equilibrium position. So whenever we are trying to disturb it, there's a equal and opposite reaction is getting developed. And for defining stress, we will take the ratio of internal resisting force divided by the area on which this resisting force is produced. So this concept of area will be cleared in a while. This can be also visualized with this figure. You can see that this is a material, or in a material we are considering only two atoms, this atom A and atom V, and they are having interatomic bonding, which is represented by this yellow zigzag line, means it is representing interatomic force. And when we are applying external force, then the spring will try to remain in its equilibrium position, and it will also apply an internal resisting force having equal magnitude to the external resisting force. And this A dash V dash is the position on which these atoms will be displaced. So if this force is in within elastic limit, then the material will come into its original position, means from B dash to B. But if you have applied enough forces, means if magnitude of external forces becomes very high, then what will happen, this atomic bond will break and the atoms will shift to new position of A dash and B dash. So here we are considering the body is rigid, that there is no deformation occurring in the body, that is why we have considered that atoms have not moved to A dash and a B dash position, but they have remained at their original position, but this force is trying to move these atoms to the new positions. Now this concept of area will can be understood with the help of this bar. So you can see this is a bar which is subjected to external force, and here we have to consider the magnitude of force as F. So now this force is trying to extend the length of the bar. Then if you will see any cross section here, then you will see that how these internal resisting forces are developed. So if you will cut the cross section from here, or if you will see, if you want to visualize that what is happening inside this bar, then on this cross section, so this is a rectangular cross section, on this cross section there are internal resisting forces throughout the area which have been developed and which are trying to maintain the bar in its equilibrium position, means these are trying to remain in its original position. And this concept of internal resisting force has also been discussed in my previous video. So here if I will try to analyze only this section, then here you can see this is the external resisting force, and this red color is representing the internal resisting force. And this internal resisting force F, capital F, is the average force of over this area, which has earlier been shown with the help of these small arrows. So the ratio of this internal resisting force and area of cross section. So here this rectangular area of cross section, which I'm highlighting here, is to be considered. And here you can see the force is perpendicular to this cross section, so it is known as the normal stress, and normal stress is denoted by the letter sigma. So ratio of F over A, where A is the cross sectional area, is known as normal stress. So suppose if this force is parallel to this area, means suppose if this force is having this shape which is parallel to this area, so here it should be in the downward direction. Likewise you can see from here. So if you would take the magnitude of this and also divide it with this cross-sectional area, then it will be known as shear stress, which will be denoted by the letter tau. So this was all for this video. And yes, the one more important point, that sometimes this question is asked, that whether stress is an internal phenomena or external phenomena. So stress is an internal phenomena because we have seen that how these atoms or how the material is trying to remain in its equilibrium position, and due to that there is a development of internal resisting force, and study of these internal resisting force is known as stress. So this was all for today. Thank you.